The story begins as a pathetic, spoiled, disgusting girl named Sakurakoji was traveling all alone in a bus at midnight. Her thoughts about ending the lives of her miserable teachers were interrupted when she noticed a Giga Chad Ultra Instinct Goku at a distance from her window. It appeared as if the weird hot guy was burning actual people alive with a blue flame. Shocked by this, the girl immediately stops the bus and runs after the unusual sight. However, to her surprise, she finds nothing at the spot when she arrives. The local police officer also thinks that Sakura had too much to drink after she was dumped by her boyfriend. The next morning, our girl Sakura is flexing on some newbies with her fire martial arts skills at the dojo. She then goes to her school where quite apparently she's everyone's crush and is popular for being a champ in all areas. Sakura then meets her best friend, Aba, who's a shy but pretty blonde. After that, they both greet their class teacher Miss Konda. Miss Konda introduces them, and then the whole class to a new transfer student named Ogami Rei. All the other girls are drooling over the new hotshot student, but Sakura has something else on her mind. After staring at him for a few minutes, Sakura realizes that he's the same guy who she saw last night making barbecue out of passersby. After the class ends, Sakura straight up goes to Ogami and tells him that she wishes to talk in private. While our girl is in full FBI mode, her idiot batchmates think that she's proposing to him. All the noisy students gather near the spot where the two talk it out, having no idea what the conversation is actually about. Meanwhile, Sakura confronts Ogami and accuses him of harming people the previous night. To prove her point, Sakura asks him to take off his glove as that would reveal his burn scars. Surprisingly, Ogami looks very nonchalant about it all. He immediately removes his glove and reveals his spotless hand, which shocks Sakura. She gets embarrassed in front of him and apologizes for her suspicions. Thankfully, Ogami doesn't make a big deal about it and leaves with a smile on his face. At this point, even Sakura starts to think that the booze really got her last night. Meanwhile, the whole school gets the impression that their favorite girl got friend-zoned, which is why Ogami left. Even Sakura seems to be enjoying the fourth story, which is why she doesn't try to convince them otherwise. After that, Sakura's suspicions about Ogami remain, as she thinks he's still hiding something from her. For this reason, Sakura starts to stalk him everywhere and keeps an eye on all of his activities. But this cheap Sherlock version of Sakura came off to be very creepy, making everyone think she's obsessed with the boy. Sakura then visits the same place on an evening once again, where she thinks she saw Ogami burning people. She continuously questions herself if what she saw really happened or not. She is then approached by a cute white dog whom she feeds regularly. As usual, Sakura gives her some food. But after eating, the dog immediately runs to someone in the distance. The person is none other than Ogami. Sakura gets surprised to see that even though the dog isn't very fond of people, she seems to be getting along with Ogami. This gives Sakura the impression that Ogami might not be as evil as she thought of him. After that, Sakura tells Ogami about the dog that her master was a homeless man who was killed by a group of goons called G-Falcon. The two chat for a bit and then leave. The scene shifts to the Prime Minister's office, who is seen talking to his assistant about Ogami's placement in a certain school. This implies that there is still a lot that Ogami is hiding. The next morning, Aba invites Ogami to spend time with her and Sakura, but he excuses saying that he's busy with work. When asked what he does, Ogami replies that he's a trash cleaner. After that, he receives a call regarding his day's work, but he attends it very secretly with a grim expression on his face. On call, Ogami is asked about what he intends to do with Sakura, to which he replies that he would eliminate her. Night approaches and Sakura goes to feed the dog, who looks unusually startled. In the distance, Sakura notices some biker boys beating up a brokey. Seeing this awakens the Wonder Woman inside Sakura, and she straight up confronts the goons, telling them that she has called the cops. Hearing this, the lowlivs start to laugh as if they own the city. This is when Sakura notices the gang's distinct tattoos, and realizes that they're the G-Falcon. They tell Sakura that some of their people vanished in the same spot a few nights ago. This rings a bell inside Sakura's head as she starts to connect the dots. She slowly realizes that her assumptions about Ogami were true, as the G-Falcon is talking about the people whom Sakura saw get burned alive by Ogami. Now that the girl's brain is working at turbo speed, she starts to beat up the goons with her incredible martial arts skills. However, her momentum breaks shortly as she gets tased by one of the goons. Now in control of the situation, the G-Falcon starts to beat the out of Sakura. The scene brings back memories of Vidal's fight with Ispopovich. However, the dog suddenly breaks into the scene as she tries to save Sakura, but the poor thing gets overpowered by the nasty G-Falcon, who kicks her repeatedly like a football. The dog lies helpless as her bones and organs hurt badly. Suddenly, Ogami enters the scene out of nowhere. He goes to the dog and tries to comfort it, but realizes that it is about to die. Instead of taking the dog to the hospital, Ogami does the unexpected as he twists the dog's neck to give her a quick and painless death. This stuns Sakura, who couldn't believe what she just saw. After that, Ogami turns to one of the G-Falcon guys who initiated the attack on the dog. The savage Ogami puts his hand on the goon's face and literally burns him alive within seconds. The scene frightens everyone who saw it, and there's complete silence for a few seconds. After that, Ogami turns to the rest of the G-Falcon and asks them if they would surrender or wish to have the same fate as their friend. The group then charges at Ogami with full force, after which, one by one, Ogami eliminates all the goons. Within moments, there was no trace of the G-Falcon left. Sakura watches the whole scene unfold in disbelief, but suddenly gets approached by Ogami, who says that she's next, and puts his palm on her face. After waking up the next morning, Sakura finds herself safe at home with her mother and her father. Her father, clearly relieved to see her awake, tells her how worried he was about her long absence, especially since she was unconscious when Daisuke found her at the gate. The unexpected situation had left her family deeply concerned about her well-being. Determined to find out what really happened, Sakura goes back to the field where she had seen Ogami confront members of the G-Falcon gang. To her surprise, there is no sign of ashes or any evidence of the fiery clash she remembers so clearly. It's as if the whole event was erased. Back at school, Sakura feels uneasy as she steps into her classroom and sees Ogami already there. Sakura is constantly looking over her shoulder, her mind full of worries about her safety. She can't shake the fear that the person who tried to harm her might still be a threat, especially if they think she knows their secret. After avoiding Ogami several times, Sakura finally finds the courage to confront him about the troubling events from the previous day. She is determined to uncover the truth and ensure her own safety. This drives her to seek answers from the mysterious figure who has suddenly become such a pain in her life. Meanwhile, in a busy supermarket, a young boy draws everyone's attention as he gathers a large number of toys. He excitedly claims that these toys are Nyanmaru from a mysterious machine, leaving those around him both curious and confused by his weird-ass behavior. As the boy leaves the store, he receives a mission. The message addresses him as Codebreaker 310. Yuki and orders him to eliminate a target. Sakura, still focused on finding the truth about the violent incident from the day before, manages to confront Ogami in a crowded place. She questions him about the people he killed, expressing her worries and asking if he feels any regret for what he did. Ogami's response is chillingly straightforward. He explains that he killed them because he sees them as worthless and believes they don't belong among others. Sakura urges him to think about the results of his actions, insisting that it isn't his job to deliver justice. Ogami, however, responds to Sakura's pleas with a coldness and a sense of superiority. He confidently claims that he is Batman who is beyond the reach of the law, seeing himself as someone who operates outside its limits. According to Ogami, the law cannot judge him because he exists outside its boundaries. He insists that it is his personal duty to deliver his own form of justice, something the law cannot offer. By doing so, Ogami identifies himself as a codebreaker, a person who lives in a world where society's usual rules and boundaries no longer apply. That's surely a new pronoun to add to our list. His claim of being beyond the law's framework adds to the unsettling nature of his character, leaving Sakura even more confused. Sakura warns Ogami that if he continues to kill, she will keep following him to stop any further harm. But Ogami responds with an eerie laugh, and then walks toward a nearby glass building. With just a touch, he breaks the glass into countless pieces. In a final threatening warning, he tells Sakura that if she ever speaks about him to anyone, he will kill her first, and anyone she tells, no matter where or when. He makes it clear that she can't stop him. The encounter leaves Sakura in shock and fear. Sakura, deeply shaken by her meeting with Ogami, goes home and lies in bed, unable to stop thinking about what he said. His chilling words and his unstoppable powers weigh heavily on her mind. Meanwhile, Ogami is walking on a bridge when he gets a call asking if he has eliminated Sakura. Ogami's answer is unexpected. He describes Sakura as a rare breed and says she won't burn, even by his own fire. Because of this, he has decided not to kill her again, leaving the situation wrapped in uncertainty. One morning, as Sakura gets ready for school, she is surprised to find Ogami patiently waiting at her door. His unexpected arrival raises questions about his intentions. Looking unbothered about the situation, Ogami is prepared to walk with her to school.